Hello, and welcome to today's webinar, The Propane Customer is Always Right, How to Exceed Customers' Expectations with Differentiated Offerings, brought to you by LP Gas Magazine and our sponsor of the event, AdSystems. AdSystems creates software solutions designed to meet the needs of the propane industry. They offer robust back office and mobile applications, including accounts receivable, both delivery and service dispatching and mobile products, as well as wholesale inventory, Microsoft Dynamics GP Financial, and intelligence reporting. I'm Mackenzie Schoner from North Coast Media, content marketing producer for LP Gas Magazine, and I will be the moderator for today's event. Before we get started, I want to let you know that today's webinar will be recorded. You are currently in a listen-only mode. A recording of this webinar will be posted to lpgasmagazine.com/webinars and will also be emailed to you tomorrow. At this time, I'd like to acquaint you with the ways you can participate during today's webinar. Please notice the Q&A panel at the left-hand side of your console. If you have a question, type it into the panel's text box, then click Submit to place your question in queue, or you can tweet using hashtag LPGasWebinar. We encourage you to ask and enter any questions you may have for our speakers during the presentation. We will address these questions at the end of the presentation during the Q&A portion. Questions submitted during registration have already gone to our panelists and may be covered during the presentation. If you experience any technical difficulties during today's event, you may use the same Q&A panel on your screen to submit your issue, and assistant producer Daniel Pesta or I will personally assist you. You may learn more about our speakers by viewing their photo, bio, and email address in the panel located on the upper left-hand side of your console. On the right-hand side, there is a Contact Us panel for you to send any follow-up remarks to our sponsor via email. These inquiries will not be addressed during the live event. If you are logged into your social media accounts, you can share the webinar's title, description, and URL with your friends or colleagues using the Share This widget you will see at the bottom of the screen. Finally, at the bottom right of your console, you will find a PDF of today's presentation slides, which you can download, and a link to visit both LP Gas and AdSystems websites. Now, I'd like to introduce you to today's presenters. Today, we will be hearing from John Coyle, Vice President of Sales for AdSystems. John joined AdSystems in 2013 and brings over 25 years of experience working with customers around the world to improve their efficiency and achieve higher profitability. We will also be hearing from Gregg Lounsbury, Software Application Specialist for AdSystems. Gregg is currently in his 21st year with AdSystems, where he travels extensively to visit with clients and prospects, providing detailed software presentations. At this time, I'll hand the presentation over to John and Gregg. Gentlemen, take it away.
Thank you very much, and welcome everybody. We hope you're having a good day so far. Good morning, good afternoon, wherever you are. We're happy to be here. John and I are going to keep this kind of formal. We're going to have a little conversation about our topics today, and we'll try to cover the information that we have outlined here today. So again, thank you for joining us. Okay, so another way to say the customer is always right, obviously, is that you put the customer first and you want to exceed their expectations. So we're going to explore how you could do that with your company. So the first thing here is we all want to recognize that we're in a competitive marketplace, and obviously you all need to know, and you already know, that you have to earn your customers' loyalty every day. It's not a given. Customers come and go for a penny a gallon, and it's important to win their business.
I agree, Greg. It's also important to know that each customer is unique, and so one thing does not fit all customers. So we have to look to deliver exceptional experiences that are unique to each customer and personal to each group of customers.
Yeah, so what creates loyalty? True customer loyalty. That's some of the things that we're going to explore today. And before we start that, we're going to kind of take a look back, which is kind of an interesting thing to do, John, just looking back from where we were and how we got to where we are today. It's sometimes a good practice to look about the future by seeing where we came from. So one of the things that we discovered in some of our research is that petroleum's been around for thousands of years. The petroleum industry first encountered its archaeological record near what is now Iraq, as some of you may know. But that was 6,000 years ago. They used asphalt for waterproofing, for baths and pottery and boats. So that's an interesting topic. And about 2,000 years ago, Chinese used oil and natural gas for heat and light, and they actually had bamboo piping, believe it or not, John, that carried gas into their homes.
Yeah, over 2,000 years ago. That's really hard to believe, Greg. And then we look at today. The oil and gas is at the top of energy consumption today, and just like technology, the energy industry is constantly changing that, face of competition that's challenging us to do things differently. Today, accounting for 39% of global energy consumption, oil has historically been the most used energy source, but gas consumption has been growing at a rate of 2.4% over the last 10 years. The challenge is, how do we meet the change in competition from solar, wind, and electricity, as well as just the competition in our own local markets?
Yeah, it's again, the thing to remember is that you got to win your customer's business. And the problem is the industry is facing a lot of those things with wind and electricity, just like technology is rapidly growing and changing. We want to stay ahead of the competition. So let's go to the next slide, John, and talk about why your company is important. And the energy industry remains a driving force. We know that. As we said, there are 80% of Americans, we supply 80% of American energy needs today. Oil and natural gas and coal provide that energy today. The products we deliver provide better, more comfortable life for our customers. We have a great story to tell. We should be proud of the fact that we've been able to create jobs. In the oil and gas industry alone, it's responsible for about 12.3 million American jobs. That's pretty good, I'd have to say.
I think it's also important to recognize that today we do it cleanly. The fuels that we use, things like propane, like we're here to talk about today, it's an efficient, clean system, and it can heat our homes and keep us moving forward and support the Americans that we are looking to do, but in a clean way, an environmentally conscious way.
Yeah, that's true. So let's just touch on our agenda now. We're going to talk about a lot of what we're going to be talking about today. And John, I'll let you start off with the agenda.
Okay, so we talked a little bit about the history. Now, that's how we got here and why it's important. So let's look a little bit ahead and see what we're going to discuss, as you said. So communication preferences is something we're going to hit on a little bit through this presentation, and it's about unique customer communication for your customers. We're going to talk about self-service options that are available today and why they're important, delivery scheduling and how that's important, and service scheduling as well.
Yeah, and mobile technology is a huge part today. Lots of companies are adopting mobile technology on the service vans, on the delivery trucks. It's very important. Budget and pricing plans. Again, to be competitive, you have to offer convenient ways for the customer to pay and offer competitive pricing with some kinds of pricing plans that are available today. Also, credit practices. How do you communicate with your customers from a credit standpoint? Are you emailing? Are you sending out dunning notices via email? And how are you handling their accounts? Very important to discuss as well. The hard truth about the industry is that we're behind and slow to adopt, but everyone is still moving forward, so customers are pushing your company to move forward.
Yeah, and when we start with communication preferences, knowing your customer is key. As a business owner, understanding and building upon your customer knowledge and the relationship will put you ahead of the game. That's a quote that we found as we were preparing for this, and it really does go to say, your customer comes first. They know what they want. We have to work hard to deliver against those expectations. So, Greg, how do we learn about what we're doing with our customers?
Yeah, well, in some cases, your software really should be the first line of communication, and having that information right at your fingertips as soon as the customer calls is a really nice feature. The software should tell you some kind of a timeline, which gives you the customer service person the ability to say, well, here's what's going on with that customer in the last few days, the last few weeks, the last few months. So again, the customer service person is informed and able to make that information available to them immediately, so they can give the customer a comfortable feeling that they know what's going on their account.
Correct. I'm a big believer in that a well-informed customer is a happy customer. And let's face it, technology is not slowing down, so the communication has to improve if we're going to deliver strong customer satisfaction. And communication for a lot of customers equals transparency. Okay, if they feel that they're getting the honest and accurate information, they're going to feel more comfortable with your business. One of the quotes that we got from a client as we talked a little bit about communication is he said, in general, the need for a lot of customer communication was a pretty significant factor in their choice in choosing technology. It's definitely where the world is going. That came from Kelly Douglas of G&B Energy. And I really do think he summed that up correctly. That is where the world is going. Communication is something that's really advanced a lot over the last 15 years, and I don't see any stop.
Yeah, here's the thing, John. 80% of customers prefer to buy from the brands that offer highly personalized experience. So finding a way to give your customer a personalized experience is important. Nearly half of buyers have made impulse purchases after receiving personalized recommendations from a brand. So that stuff is really important. The other thing is security. People want to know everything about what's happening today, including who's coming to their house. So that communication, that transparency is very important to provide to your customers today.
Yeah, better business communication means better customer satisfaction, to sum it up again. So what kind of communications do we want?
Yeah, customer service standards equals consistency. Text updates in an instant gratification world. There's generations out there that only communicate by their phones, John, as you probably know.
Greg, I've got two teenage daughters who only know how to text and Snapchat.
Right. So being able to communicate to that generation is going to be important moving forward. And as we said, customers want personalization. They want to feel that people are recognizing who they are and what they need from as far as communication. So photos and biographies can provide that safety that we were talking about, allowing them to see who's coming to their house, when are they going to be there, and possibly a bio that tells them who that person is. Another nice quote there, the need for personalized communication experience isn't new, but it's a trend in communication that is here to stay. The same goes for personalized communication.
Yeah, I agree with you, Greg. Security, as a guy who spends a lot of this time on the road, security is really important to me. If somebody's going to come to the house, to be able to get a text message with that person's picture and bio, I know my wife is going to let the right person in the home to take care of whatever we need done.
Yeah, very, very good development, good technology. Let's talk about the different methods based on the types of people that you're trying to communicate with. Now, John, when my grandfather was buying propane and fuel, he didn't have a cell phone, he didn't have a website. He's the type of generation that really, wants to be in touch by phone or wants to go to the office and pay their bill right in person. So you have to offer it for those types of customers in that generation. And knowing who you're reaching out to is very important.
I agree, Greg. The phone is definitely something that's not going away. It's just something we're seeing a little bit less of as we look at different ways to communicate with customers. Email. Email came to us in the mid-90s, and it continues to be a great way to communicate with what we call the Gen X demographics. They see email as their main form of business communication, and when it's used in frequent fragments of information, statuses are great to be provided via email. So, I'm from that generation. I use email every day, all day during work and personal. So it's a method that I'm very comfortable with receiving information about my home and my propane deliveries.
Yeah, I'm with you on that, John. But one of the things I haven't been involved in outside of work is social media. But we've found through advertising and through reaching customers from ad systems that social media is the best tool for creating information that Generation Y or millennial demographics are looking for. That's almost the only way that they'll do business with you. If they see you on Facebook, if they see you on Twitter, really important to know who you're trying to market to.
Yeah. Social media has certainly become something that businesses did as a part of their strategy to a must-have. It really is important today. And then, again, as technology changes, as the taste of our customers change, we need to make sure that we're adapting and meeting that change. The next one that comes up is we talked a little bit is text. There is an entire group out there that if they can't text the information or receive text about their information, then they don't want to do business with your company.
Yep, true. Sometimes on a portal, John, you get the opportunity to chat with someone that's actually monitoring whether it's a AI, artificial intelligence or a real person. Some people prefer to get on your website and actually ask their questions on a chat session. You get an idea of what they're asking for, and you're able to address their questions right away, which is a nice feature.
Yeah, let's face it, we're doing it today on today's webinar. You've got the Q&A box, which is essentially a chat window to have a conversation directly with us at the end of the presentation, Greg.
Yeah.
And then the last one we've got is surveys. More and more customers that we work with are reaching out to that customer base to follow up on their services and the things that they offer and asking their customers to fill out a survey. It's a great way to learn more about your customers, what they like about your services, and sometimes even more importantly, what they don't like about your services and your offerings, so that you know what you need to do to fix it.
Yeah, surveys are good. Unfortunately, sometimes they only reach the people that are really happy and only reach the people that are really unhappy. So trying to get the right survey to reach the people that are just trying to provide information is also key.
Yeah, so it comes down to what type of information, who are we sending it to, where should it go, why should we be sending information? This is the type of thing that really takes a little bit of focus, but it's something that's ultimately easy to do. The things that we think are some of the on the top of the list. Payment updates. Today, whether you're buying products from Amazon or you're buying from my local propane company, if I make a payment, I want to know that you've received my payment. I love getting a text message or an email update that says we received your payment and applied it to your account. Again, we talked a little bit about it. Tech and driver bios. That's great. It adds a little extra security and transparency to your customers so they know who's going to show up at their home, and if it's not the person that came in the text, well, then they know that they've got a concern.
Yeah, and that's, Uber led the way in this. They provided that who's coming to pick you up, which is a level of safety that is absolutely necessary. And when you're going to let someone in your house, you want to know who it is.
Definitely.
For sure.
Things like delivery reasons, or more importantly, non-delivery reasons. If I can't make a delivery to your tank because the gate was locked, well, I want to get that information out to the customer right away. Why? Because I'm still in the area, and it means I could potentially get back to that house before I leave that area. So, sending that information out via text allows the customer to get it almost instantaneously and therefore be able to react to it just that much faster. Tech and driver status updates. If I've got a technician coming to my house, if I can get updates as he's making his progress throughout the day or he's en route, that's fantastic. I recently had an appliance delivered and I got a notification that the technician was on his way to do the install, and sure enough, 10 minutes later my doorbell rang. I knew that I had to get off the call that I was on to be ready to accept that door and let the person into my house.
Hey, John, and another way to use this type of communication is giving the customer the latest news about the business, what your office hours are. In this day and age, customers want to know if your office is open. Maybe it's closed because of COVID reasons. Just giving that kind of information to the customer, maybe even marketing to them using text messaging and emailing right from the main system. These are types of communication that are given today. The generations, as we said, are expecting this. It's almost the cost of doing business today.
Yeah. When we think about all these types of communications that we can send out, there's a benefit to us as propane retailers. One of our customers, Stephanie at Phil's Propane, told us that automatic emails are more efficient and our office staff are able to do other things rather than have to answer questions that have easily been done through an automatic email process. So by setting up to send out messages, whether it be text or email, and automated, we've made your delivery, we've taken your payment, it frees up your staff to work on growing your business. Yet you're still getting good contact with your customers and keeping them informed. And as I've said, an informed customer is a happy customer. So Greg, let's dive a little bit deeper and talk about some more self-service options.
Yeah, self-service options. Here's a quote. In 2021, 45% of people believe that how they shop has changed permanently. The way things have been going in this latest pandemic and everything that's been going on has changed the way people shop and changed the way people want to do business. So it's important to make sure you stay on top of that. What does it mean? It means touchless service, online service, and the use of technology to communicate more than ever. Self-serve web portals are a piece of this. It's a must-have today.
Yeah, we've been offering the web portal access with instant access to the back office software for a number of years, but it's those customers that take advantage of that technology that have really benefited over the last 12 months. When the pandemic hit, if you weren't already there, it was hard to get there. Resources were tight, people were busy, companies were struggling to get their employees to work remote. But those that had the web portal in place were able to take advantage of that. One of our customers, Ryan Jackson at D.F. Richard, said people want instant access to their account information. This is the world we live in. If they don't get it, most of the time they'll move on. So it was once again a nice option to have a web portal. Today it's a requirement to be in business. Companies like Amazon have set a very high bar that we're being measured against. Yes, we're not delivering the types of goods they are, but we're making deliveries, and customers expect that same level of customer service. And customer service is what it's all about, making sure that the customer is always right.
Yeah, it's so true. So what do they want? We said it. They want touchless. They want frictionless. These terms are new terms to a lot of generations. If you asked my grandfather or my dad what frictionless means, he would think it has something to do with car lubrication, I guess. But it means easy access, easy touches to be able to do the things that you want. 24-hour access are the new standards for your business.
Yeah, and again, they come with a benefit to propane retailers. It means clients are doing more for themselves on their website, yet they still feel very informed. And because they're doing more for themselves, it frees up your staff to be able to handle more customers without growing your staff or focus on growing the business in other areas. So what do people want to do for themselves, Greg?
Well, what they want to do is be able to get on your web portal. They want to, and really the way web portals started is people wanted to pay. They didn't want to make a phone call. They wanted to get online to your website, and they wanted to do a simple thing like pay for their bill. See what their bill is and make a payment. So that's the number one. Scheduling a delivery. That sounds scary, John. For some companies, they worry that, people are going to be scheduling deliveries when they don't necessarily are not going to be in that area. But with the intelligence of the back office software, they can present the right time to make that delivery. They can even propose credit issues like this delivery needs to be called in at the office. You need to speak to one of our people at the office without embarrassing them possibly about a credit issue. Even more scary, scheduling a service call. But with today's technology, a service call can be scheduled at the right time with the right technician, because we have a technician in that geographic area already. So we can suggest those appointments right to the customer online, just like they were talking to a customer service person. They want to sign up for a budget plan possibly, or they want to sign up for some kind of a price plan or a prepay plan. Or maybe you've marketed them and they're reacting to a new offer that you've provided. Our customer, Ryan Jackson, says we have far less phone calls during the day because we find more and more people going online to complete transactions. John, you've said it before. It's a 24/7 employee that you don't have to pay benefits to, or health care insurance, or any kind of extra sick days, time off, because it's always there working for you and allowing the customer to do their own thing.
Yeah, and making all of those types of functions available to your clients means you're listening to them, you're hearing what they have to say, you're giving them what they want, and you're delivering a high level of customer satisfaction. And that's going to keep your customers longer and keep them happier. And happy customers tell other people.
Yeah, so leveraging your marketing opportunities through customer portals. Again, some great statistics here. 91% of consumers say they are more likely to shop with brands that provide offers and recommendations that are relevant to them. How do you do that on the website, John?
Well, some of the things that you can do, Greg, is you can actually look at a customer's information within the back office system and see they're not on a budget plan. So a smart website can actually suggest these are the plans that are available to you based on your usage. That tailored offer is more likely to get a positive response than just a simple mailer that shows up at somebody's house. So by being able to leverage the uniqueness of that customer, we're able to give them opportunities to enhance what they do with you that is specifically tailored to them, and therefore more likely to get a positive response.
And more revenue for your company, John.
Yeah, the other thing I like about marketing opportunities through your customer portal is you may have a customer that's with you as a propane customer and they're using you for home heat, but they may not be aware that you do service too, that you're an HVAC company or you're offering some other types of things in your business. You know, if you started out in propane but you've expanded your business over the years, you want to make sure your customers know about all of your offerings. And targeting your marketing opportunities through the web portal is certainly one way to do that. You know whether they're both a propane heat company customer and an HVAC or air conditioning customer or not. So if they're not, why not tell them about your latest offer on the air conditioning side as we're moving into spring and those summer warm months are coming up.
Yeah, so the other quote, 70% of consumers say companies' understanding of their personal needs influences their loyalty. So this actually can affect loyalty. People know or feel loyal to a company that knows who they are and what they are typically looking for.
Yeah, if they're not on a budget account, we're going to suggest that. If they don't have a service contract, why not market it automatically? These are opportunities to increase your business with your existing customer base, yet make sure that they feel like they're being taken care of on a very personal level. So when we talk about what is this for propane retailers? Why do we think that this is important? There are significant benefits to you. One, customers are paying their bills online. That means faster payments, less phone calls chasing the money, less phone calls into the office to take orders or service schedules. Okay, that's going to free up your people to be able to do more. Again, we talked about the younger generation only wants to do business this way. So if we don't have it available to them, we potentially lose that younger generation. It gives you a competitive advantage over your competition who's not offering these types of services. And it's a way to increase your contact with your customer without increasing your actual manpower. It gives you extended reach without reach out to your customers without extending the number of employees that you have to have. Okay. One of our customers, Tom Rhymes, said, as a bonus, it saves you money. Every payment a customer makes online is one they didn't have to call you in on and one you don't have to process a check for. Simply, it's a benefit to you to offer these things to your customers that pays benefit after benefit after benefit.
That's for sure, John. Hey, let's move on to delivery scheduling. That's an important topic on the list of things for a propane company. The bullet here is if customers expend a lot of effort to do business with a company, only 4% will be loyal. On the other side, if customers expend very little effort, 91% will be loyal. That's a really powerful quote. It really makes a difference here on making sure things are smooth and easy for your customer to accomplish what they're looking for.
So how do we please our customers through scheduling options? People use products for all different reasons. We need to ensure that we understand their usage patterns and deliver them in the most seamless way possible, period.
Yeah, accurate scheduling through availability of multiple types of methodologies. You can't just use heat and non-heat K-factor forecasting. There's all sorts of needs that require a variable non-heat or a usage rate per day or some kind of a 52 weeks table, route table, or just a simple certain number of days between delivery. Excuse me. So visibility through your company app, your web portal, or a tank monitoring app. Did I get the delivery? When is my next delivery? This is important. Quick service when there's a run out. Easy inclusion of phone orders or will calls.
Yeah, I agree, Greg. You know, the customer, his number one thing is don't let me run out. But the thing is, they need to know that we're there when they need us. That's the number one thing. And when we have the technology available to us, we can schedule the accounts accurately, we can do it easily, we can add phone orders throughout the day, so if we're in an area, we can pick up those new orders as they come in. You know, that's really leveraging the technology to not only make our customers happy, but also save us money on the operational side. Because if we're able to deliver to a customer in that same area when we're there, it means we don't have to drive out tomorrow. And the less miles we drive, the more money we're going to make per mile.
Yeah, John, you're talking about dynamic routing. The day changes all day long. Calls come in. We have to move things around sometimes, and having a piece of software that allows the dispatcher to move things around and take care of customers, because the customer's always right, is an important thing today.
Yeah, it's all about efficiency, and we live in a dynamic world, so we need to have dynamic routing, Greg.
Hey, let's talk about another technology that's become very popular, tank monitors. As some of you probably know, there's a lot of tank monitors out there today. John, how many do you think we integrate to at Ad Systems?
We're close to 24 tank monitors at this point, and I feel like there's more every year.
Yeah, it is. It's one of the growing technologies, and it's great to see. Because what better way to forecast than knowing exactly what's in the tank? But the ability to put the customer's mind at ease is important. How many tank monitors do you promote tank monitors in your company? It's important that you do that. How do you promote those tank monitors? It allows the customer to actually have a phone app that they can see the tank level right on their phone. But tank monitors aren't 100% efficient. Sometimes they don't work, and having a backup system like linked to your forecasting system is very critical. But this has the ability to create some additional revenue opportunities because some companies charge for tank monitoring. Of course, you're going to put tank monitors on those customers that are hard to predict, and it makes it easier for you to make sure that they don't run out. But the customers who have vacation homes or things like that may be happy to pay you to make sure that they have propane when they need it. So there is some additional opportunities that can bring more revenue into your company.
Yeah, and we want to keep customers informed. Communication. Part of making it easier for customers is keeping them well informed automatically. Lets them know when you're coming, let them know that they've been delivered, let them know when you couldn't deliver. Good communication keeps your customers satisfied. And again, we've said it before, a happy customer, we're reinforcing that mantra, a happy customer is always right. So will calls. Why is it important in will calls for delivery scheduling, Greg?
Well, there's an opportunity there. Another good use of a tank monitor could be a customer that just doesn't want to be on automatic delivery, but at least you have a proactive way of letting them know when they need a delivery, possibly. It builds their customer loyalty and possibly turns them into an automatic customer, because if you can predict when they're going to need a delivery, a tank monitor is an easy way to do that, and you could charge them a small amount of money to do that. We always recommend that you forecast will calls, and you can simply do that by every time you make a delivery, posting the delivery amount that was put in the tank for that delivery, and forecasting it based on the number of gallons that you delivered. After the second or third delivery, you'll know, and you can be proactive. And here's where a text message may come into play, where I can send a text message to the customers that are will call or prefer to call us and say we're going to be in your area. So having that ability to do that is a way to turn them into lifelong customers. And a good quote here, I love this one. We send out automatic emails to will calls days before we go in their area, asking them to check their tank level and be added into the route. That's been working out great and avoiding runouts.
Yeah, and that means there's clear benefits to you. You know, again, when we're looking at delivery scheduling, efficient routes using proactive tools create loyal, lifelong clients. Okay. We got a quote here from one of our customers, Ryan Jackson. Again, Ryan mentioned that his accounts with tank monitors, he's able to save 2 to 3 deliveries per year at $30 per drop average over multiple accounts. That's a huge savings to the company, and he's delivering the same number of total gallons per year. And like Stephanie at Phil's pointed out, automatic emails will help you reach your will calls and include them into your routes more efficiently. There's nothing like calling somebody who didn't expect to call via text or email, or communicating with them and saying, hey, we're thinking of you and we think you might need this, and having them just say yes to placing that order.
Yeah, it's real good stuff, John. Let's move on to service scheduling as our next topic. There's a nice quote from one of our mobile support people here at Ad Systems. Smart and proactive scheduling gives your customers the reliability and responsiveness they deserve from your service department and allows you to focus on providing customers with an excellent experience.
So, Greg, how do we meet that customer need?
Yeah, ease of scheduling a service call. The software should drive the user to schedule the correct appointment based on lots of factors. The technician has to have the right skill set to do this work. Are there technicians in this general vicinity for that particular day? And do we have that information that we need for that call so that the technician can complete all of those calls via the scheduling software? And it does give us real-time status updates via email or text. Here's an example of a simple scheduling software that would show the user where the call is that you're trying to schedule and where the call is that you already have scheduled. So again, that geography, traveling less miles between calls, better profitability because we're not driving all over the marketing area between calls. It makes the customer more happy, and the calls are easy to manage by the technician.
Right. We've got service calls that are around, standard yearly maintenance, but really a service call for the most part is an emergency situation, and it's really important that our customers know we've got their backs and we're able to take care of them. And doing it in an efficient way, leveraging the technology, again, reinforces that transparency and that open communication that we've got their back, they're going to be our customer, we're going to take and protect them. So as we move forward, how do we get that done after we've done the scheduling side? We're leveraging mobile delivery and mobile service, okay? The days of having a huge in-person meeting are over. And, we want to leverage wireless products to allow us to move forward seamlessly and still compete in the jobs more efficiently. Again, another comment from Ryan Jackson, a company that's been very progressive over the last couple of years and really instituting a lot of technology to improve their everyday business practices.
Yeah, this creates consistency even during the pandemic, John. And this is COVID-ready technology. There's no interruption in service because technicians that are on some kind of a tablet and are being dispatched wirelessly are already familiar with working from home and traveling to their first call when they get dispatched. So the ability to have this happen quickly has given some companies that have already adopted this technology a leap ahead of their competition.
Yeah. So if we think about how does technology on your delivery vehicles help? Well, it's real-time information. That technology is relaying back to the office where the truck is, how much product is left on the truck, what deliveries have been made, what information is out there that we can bring back and use to update and move faster. Optional physical invoices left on site. Why not, if you're not doing it today, you need to price your tickets with the actual price pulled from the system, leveraging all the contracts that are available and leaving an invoice on site, saving postage and saving that type of information. But again, getting that payment information to the customer faster so they can make a payment. Taking payments in the field and recording that payment at the time of delivery. If you're in a facility where it's a COD type account, you want to make sure you've got a record of what was picked up by your driver so that the client has that on their side and we've got that matched back in the office. GPS validation for accuracy. Have you ever had a situation where a driver is delivered to the wrong house? Mobile technology can virtually eliminate that. It tells you whether you're in the right place, so we don't deliver into the wrong tank and then have to chase to try and collect that, especially if it's not your customer. And then lastly, I think there's the reduction in miles driven means more profit per mile. We've got expensive vehicles. We've got high-end expensive drivers. We want this group to be as efficient as possible. And if we can squeeze more out of the given number of miles they drive in a day, we're making more money. And a little bit of money on every truck every day adds up to a lot of profitability and a lot more profit for the ownership of the company at the end of the year.
Hey, John, it's the same on the service van. Being able to have this technology on the service van gives them real-time information. It gives the dispatcher real-time information. It even gives the back office software real-time information. Where the tech is he on site? Is he in transit? Optional physical invoice left on site. Optional payment can be taken by the service tech. One of the nicest features is the ability for techs to see service history. They want to know who was there, what did they do. I don't want to repeat the same mistakes. So having that service history right there is so key. And then the parts lookup and all the other features that we're talking about of having that type of technology is so important. And it just makes this whole piece a lot more beneficial to the customer and to the service tech.
Yeah. So again, if we took those two pieces and we look at the benefits to the propane retailer, self-sufficient drivers and techs makes your team more successful out in the field. Safer tools during the pandemic and the future, because that is the new expected norm. Faster payments. And again, we're driving efficiency with your technicians and your drivers, and that means we're making more money for every job and every delivery that we do. Again, we heard from Ryan, during the pandemic, Pegasus, which is our service application, played a huge role in being able to have our techs remote, communicate directly with them without work orders, to be able to complete their service billing without having to get paperwork back to bill it out, and have full communication with our techs during a time when we couldn't congregate and bring people back to the office. It was really important for their company's success, and it can be really significant for your company's future success.
Yeah, thanks, John. That is really great stuff. Let's shift gears now. Let's talk about budget and pricing plans. Here's a quote from one of our trainers who said, I reached out to clients I've worked with recently and found that about 38% experienced an increase in budget customer numbers in the last 13 months. Clearly, there is a great opportunity this year to increase your budget numbers and fill a customer need for a level payment program. With little effort, Our clients can identify customers not currently on a budget and use the communication feature in our software to solicit them. That can actually happen online, can't it, John?
It can, and it can be fully automated with the right setup, Greg. And that means we're not tying up your salespeople to send out offers, but we're actually just taking advantage of those that are interested in those offers. So I like to say no surprises.
Yeah. Customers that buy fuel when the prices are rising, if they're not on some kind of an even payment plan, they can get some large bills in the winter, and that's a surprise, and that really is not good customer service in a lot of ways. So having a budget plan lets you flatten out the prices throughout. They know what to expect.
Yeah, and the other thing we can do now is we can reward loyal customers with a better deal. If you're a dual fuels company and you're offering propane and heating oil or HVAC, if they're buying multiple products from you, why not give them a better deal when they're signing up for multiple budgets?
Yeah, they remain loyal through that consistency of rewards. You can be their support system, and they'll support you. One of the features of a budget plan or a pricing plan is hedging. The ability to see what you've promised or what customers have committed to you for, and your ability to actually buy the product out in the open market to cover those needs that you're going to have. And a lot of times you'll see that you'll have a nice margin by hedging what your needs are going to be.
Yeah. And I'd say reassurance to customers that get on a pricing plan, whether it be a budget plan or some other type of pricing plan, reassurance is necessary. Like any relationship, business or personal, there's got to be trust, a commitment, and consistency, or it's not going to work. So getting on a plan where they trust you and you trust them, that means it's going to be a successful venture for both of you. And that reassurance brings a security level to them that they know you're going to be able to take care of them when it's needed.
Hey, there's been companies, John, that went under that have taken their customers' money and they had pre-buy plans pre-sold, and the customer lost their money because the company wasn't sound. So providing a secure method with providing the pricing and the secure business that they come to like is important to make sure that they trust you and that the security is there, that you have a good program that you're going to stand behind.
Yeah. Pricing plans lock in the price for our customers for the winter. They know what to expect and feel secure in the fact that their prices won't jump around. That came from Susie Vanover over at Miles LP Gas. Having a software system that makes it very easy for you to see what's on the budget is also really important. It allows your CSRs to be able to give update information. And again, if we're leveraging the web portal and some of the other communications information, we can provide that information to the customer 24 hours a day, 7 days a week on where they stand with their budget.
Just to repeat again, this creates steadiness and stability with your price to your customers. So having a pre-buy plan or some kind of a pricing plan that involves dollars or gallons, actually doing automatic rollover. Some companies, in the past have refunded any credit balances that are left over after a budget plan, but we recommend rolling it over and lowering their budget plans for the coming year. So rollovers are important, and it's definitely a nice feature to be able to do. And also a number of deliveries plans. Some of our customers offer a new customer the first 3 deliveries at a discounted price, and then that plan expires and moves to a normal price.
Yeah, we want to ultimately give our customers control with options. Okay, and again, that goes towards meeting the customer's needs and making sure that the customer is always right. When we help our customers meet their full potential, you give them something to say. You give them up-to-date information that helps them feel organized. You listen and help the customers meet their energy and budget goals. And again, with a lot of people out of work through the pandemic, budget is going to be hugely popular for people this year. And there's a huge opportunity for propane retailers to take advantage of those customer needs. I like to say professionalism, patience, people first. The customer desires to be first. Customers want to save money. Customers want to control their money and their business. Customers want to know where they are and where you are to help them meet their goals, both professionally and personally. And people like being a part of something. Help them feel like you're part of the team. help them get on a budget. It's a two-way street. This is someplace where we can also leverage that social media aspect because, again, people inherently like to be part of a team. When you look at some companies that do social media really well, it's their customers that are doing most of the speaking for them because they feel like their needs are being met.
So what are the benefits? It's actually mutually beneficial. Your company can gain a large credit balance in the beginning of a budget plan that's helping you cover your bills. It's predictable cash flow. It's stable customers. Customers that have a credit balance with you from the budget plan aren't leaving you. They're happy that they don't have a huge bill in the winter. You're empowering them to actually make sure that they feel comfortable and in control of their heating needs.
So the benefits for us, I think you really hit on that, Greg. Really hugely important. So let's talk a little bit about credit practices themselves, because it's great to have a budget, but somebody's got to be able to pay that bill. Okay? So again, we reached out to some of our clients. Here's the comment from Kelly Douglas. We intend to continue broadcasting the availability of new services, including emailing invoices and receipts, and offering different payment plan options to enhance the customer experience. We think it will be better for them and, of course, time savings. For us, we'll be saving on postage and paper and processing it on our end. Okay, those are just some of the steps that they're taking to leverage technology in their credit practices.
Yeah, then how can it help the business, John? Well, emailing invoices and statements instead of processing all of that paperwork into envelopes and sending them out in the mail, posting that, taking them to the post office, it just creates a lot more time for your people in the office. Automatic credit card or ACH payments, again, automatically change the ability of a customer service person because they are doing other things now. Those payments can be applied automatically. Emailing and texting payment receipt notices. The customers aren't calling and interrupting your busy work days. They're getting that information via email or text message, or they're on your portal and they're getting the information themselves. So good information. Kelly, again, we eliminated the printing of paper invoices and either mailing them or having to scan and email them. We just cut that manual step out and automated the process, saving lots of time and money.
Yeah, it really means billing documents are available anywhere. So again, we go back to the customer portal concept. If I'm a customer, I want to be able to jump on 24 hours a day, maybe 11 o'clock at night. That's when I'm going to pay my bills. So I visit your customer portal and I see my entire account summary. I see my open bills, I see my previous bills, I can see my deliveries, maybe my open service calls. Having that information available makes it easier. The days of printing coupons, it's expensive and cumbersome. Why not set up automatic drafts and bring that efficiency into play? Okay, and we saw a very similar comment from Susie Vanover, again, at Miles LP Gas. This is an area where we're delivering on what our customers' expectations are that ultimately is helping us be more efficient in our business.
Yeah, and again, we'll circle back to the benefits to you. Once again, more clarity on a customer's account, what their credit status is, the ability to see that graphically right on an account, faster payments to you because you're getting the information out to them quicker and easier for them to make those payments, better relationship with the customers, and obviously better cash flow, predictable cash flow.
So in summary, what did we learn today, Greg?
Hey, we learned that the customer is always right, John.
That's right.
And you have to provide these kinds of things that are going to make that customer feel that they're always right.
And there's not one aspect of your business that does that. You have to do it across all areas of your business to ensure you're meeting those new customer expectations. Okay? The customer's always been right. That's not a new concept. But how we deliver on that expectation is what's changed. And it's important that we in the industry are working hard every day to adapt to those new changes and meet that new customer expectation.
Well, that's all for John and I. Thank you, John. It was a pleasure doing the seminar with you. And now we're going to turn that back over to Mackenzie.
Great. Thank you so much, both of you. At this time, we are going to jump into some questions we received during registration and a couple we got during the presentation. So the first question I have is, do you have to get approval before you text customers, and what do you do?
Yeah, I'll take this one, Greg. Yeah, you should definitely get approval before you start texting customers. In fact, what a lot of clients have been doing over the last number of years has been collecting certainly mobile numbers, because that's what we need to text. So it's a training thing. First with our CSRs, making sure anytime we're talking to a customer, we're trying to enroll them in our mobile text program. Some customers are not going to want that. We talked about that baby boomer generation may not be texters, but for those that we can get on that, we're able to give them more information. I think it's important to highlight the benefits for your customers about why we want to put them on that text program. Not to spam their text, but to give them updates about their deliveries and or their payments, giving them that information that they're interested in and really highlighting that that's the reason we want to do it. Second, if we've got a mobile web portal, we want to make sure we're highlighting to them we're now doing text messaging as one of our marketing messages through the mobile portal. So that way we're, again, getting them to sign up or opt in, and we're able to get them into that program, so we're able to give them the benefits of what they're looking for in a method that's really convenient and easy for us to do.
Awesome. Our next question, have any customers offered text to pay to their end users?
Yeah, I'll take that one again because it's similar to the text question, Greg. The answer is yes. There are software products out there that allow customers to do text to pay. This is relatively new for our industry, but it's been in the market for a number of years. It does require some third-party products, and usually through your payment company or your credit card processor. But that does exist, and something that I would expect more propane retailers to take advantage of over the coming years.
Great. All right, so this one was submitted. Our drivers currently don't use any mobile products. What issues do you find when you add mobile to drivers, trucks, or service vans?
I'll take this one, John. Yeah, we've been in this business for 20-something years now on the mobile side with service vans and delivery trucks, and we've had very positive experiences throughout that. I can count on one hand where there might have been rejection in the technology. For the most part, once drivers realize how much easier it is to do their job during the day, handling paperwork and possibly their pre-inspection checklist, their inventory, all of that, price extension of the delivery ticket it just makes their job easier. And we've actually found that drivers that have been comfortable with using a mobile device, if there was some kind of an issue where they were put on a truck that didn't have one, they were very unhappy. So I think you'll see that drivers and techs will appreciate the technology and how easy it makes their job.
Yeah, Greg, I'd add to that, the right system, and I certainly know our system, but I would assume some other systems out there, it's not an all-in. So with the right mobile, and I'll use our Raven mobile for the delivery side, you can step into it gradually. So if you do have resistance from your drivers, you don't have to do the full 100% commitment day one. You can simply put the tablet in the truck, and you can still allow them to work with a route sheet. So being able to gradually move into it, but ultimately getting to when you're 100% on that technology front end, that's really where you're headed. But it gives your drivers a little bit more comfort as they make their transition.
Okay, next question. How often do you recommend sending marketing messages out to customers?
Well, that's a good question. I would say that you should be constantly doing that. On your portal, every time a customer logs into their account, the portal software should examine the account and find out what they're not using, what services they don't use, and recommending and marketing those services to them in a non-annoying way. I mean, we don't want to get overbearing with all of our messages to the customer, but keeping the customer informed. Here's our office hours this week, or we're having a service special this week. If you schedule a tune-up, we can get you in on a special rate. So I would say that If you're asking how much, I would say as much as you can. I think there's only benefit.
Greg, I'd add to that. I think the key there is a tailored marketing message that's unique to the customer based on who they are, whether they're a will call customer, whether they're a budget customer, whether they're doing service with you. There's an opportunity to do a little too much. So one of the other things you want to try and do is you want to balance your marketing messages. Some of them might be through text, some might be through email, others are going to be through your customer portal and or your social media. So you have all these different avenues to deliver those messages. So your generic messages may come through social media, may come through some of the web portal, and then your more specific targeted messages via email and text. And by doing that, you'll find the perfect balance of how to reach your customers with the message that they are going to respond to most, and that's ultimately key.
Okay, we have time for one last question. We added the ability for our customers to look up their account and make payments so far. What should we look to offer them next? What will have the biggest bang for the buck in investment?
Ooh, that's a great question. So this person's already got a mobile web portal. And so they're allowing their customers to look up information and make payments. And payments is usually the first one that I always recommend. The next steps, I think, would be placing an order online and a service call online. And for a lot of companies, as Greg mentioned earlier in the presentation, they feel like they've got to be the ones to control that. So it's really important you have the right back office system that can allow you to do that in an efficient way, yet still gives you the control. And so those would be the two that I would tackle next. The next one after that is, I would say, to make sure that you can have new customers sign up online with the various plans that your company offers. And so that way, again, we're leveraging that web portal not just for your existing clients, but for your prospects, your future business. And that is going to allow you to grow your business and therefore make more money in the long run.
Awesome. Thanks so much for that super informative presentation, guys. And for our audience, thank you for attending today's webinar, The Propane Customer is Always Right, How to Exceed Customers' Expectations with Differentiated Offerings, brought to you by LP Gas Magazine and our sponsor of the event, Ad Systems. If you have questions for myself or our speakers, you can reach out to us directly via the email addresses you see on the current slide. The resources panel houses a PDF of today's presentation slides, which you can download. To access this panel, there's a green icon at the far right hand of the toolbar at the bottom of your screen if that panel is not available for viewing. A recording of this webinar will be emailed to you tomorrow and posted to lpgasmagazine.com/webinars. Upcoming webinars from LP Gas Magazine will also be posted to that page. Thank you all so much for attending, and we hope you'll join us for another great webinar.